We are live? Yes? See or no? I think so. We should be. Okay. I think we are. Happy day. Happy day. So I have two books I want to talk about today. One is Sapiens. The other one is much harder to pick up. How Things Work. Have you guys ever seen this book? So I watch the chat on my phone because it's easier. And maybe, Doom, don't be here right now. Can you, come back in 15 minutes? Doom got so mad at me, and rightfully so. You waste people's time. No, 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 no. So the two books that we are going to be covering today. Numero uno is How Things Work. The other book is called Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. We can discuss other things. Obviously, Doom, please. Let's just talk about it later on Discord, okay? Can you go somewhere else? I hope you guys are amazing. Hi, Sam Bibley. Hi, Cynthia. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm wearing my suit jacket. So the lighting is funny at this time, and I like natural light. By the way, did you guys know that we're only supposed to have natural light during the day? I didn't know that until recently. Imagine how many people spent so many years in fluorescent light for so long, right? Definitely deleterious. So we're only supposed to have natural light during the day. So at this time, it's 6:53 in LA. So it'll take a minute. All right, I'm just going to take a page from this first book, How Things Work. This book is very cool. Let's see. The Pendulum Watch? No. I've got to actually find something here. If you guys have a topic of discussion, I texted a few of you. I would love to touch on that. Watches, we kind of know how those work, right? Scales are not my friend. Since I was 13, 14 years old, just because of eating disorder stuff, doctors would tell me not to look at scales. So imagine going to a doctor and they're like, okay, time to weigh you. And you're like, this other doctor said I shouldn't look at the scale, but I'm tempted. So half the time I'd say, oh, my therapist said I have to turn around when the number comes up. Excuse me. That's for Doom specifically. And then the other half of the time I'd want to know, because I didn't have scales. And sometimes I'd be happy and sometimes I'd be bummed out. But I think how scales work is that's for you, Doom. All of this beginning part is all for you, Doom, just so you know. I don't know. That's a bigger book. And I know more about this one, which is the one I want to talk about. I was going to say we can vote. But has anyone read this book, Sapiens? It's by Yuval Noah Harari. I think that's exactly how you pronounce it, by the way. So I have some stuff dog-eared. Okay, so there's a thing on anxiety. So I specifically wrote, as you can see, that was for Doom also. Everything is for Doom. Anxiety. So hold on 1 second. It's actually kind of hot. One up, Scott. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen you in ages. I'm so happy you're here. Getting hot in here. No, it really is. But it's crazy. It's 7. It's sun, go down already. I love you, but let's go. Okay. So a lot of us struggle with anxiety. I think it's an important topic. Okay. Time for class. Just kidding. I think this whole book is super interesting. If you haven't heard of it, you should check it out. Okay. I didn't mean to do that all. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is key to understanding our history and psychology. Genus Homo's position in the food chain was, until quite recently, solidly in the middle. For millions of years, humans hunted smaller creatures and gathered what they could, all the while being hunted by larger predators. It was only 400,000 years ago that several species of man began to hunt larger game on a regular basis. So think about that. Thank you for the super chat, Cynthia. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for the $10. In case I have to dash away for a phone call, I'm doing this now. Keep up the great work. I love you so much. Thank you for that. Bless you. Okay. So does that make sense, guys? So before 400,000 years ago, we were mostly hunting things smaller than us. And then something happened evolutionarily in terms of our hunting choices, plans, right? And we started hunting bigger things. Thank you, Cynthia. I love you always. Let's see, back to where we were. It was only 400,000 years ago that several pieces of man, species, not pieces, by the way. I was like, wait, what? Species of man began to hunt large game on a regular basis. And only in the last 100,000 years, with the rise of the Homo sapiens, that man jumped to the top of the food chain. That spectacular leap from the middle of the top, That spectacular leap from the middle to the top had enormous consequences. Other animals at the top of the pyramid, such as lions, sharks, evolved into that position very gradually over millions of years. This enabled the ecosystem to develop checks and balances that prevent lions and sharks from wreaking too much havoc. Excusez-moi. As lions became deadlier, so gazelles evolved to run faster, hyenas to cooperate better, and rhinoceroses to be more bad-tempered. In contrast, humankind ascended to the top so quickly that it was not given time to adjust. Moreover, humans themselves failed to adjust. I don't know how we were supposed to do that properly, in all fairness, but I'm trying. Most top predators of the planet are majestic creatures. Millions of years of domination have filled them with self-confidence. Sapiens, by contrast, is more like a banana republic dictator. That's kind of funny. Let's see. Having so recently been one of the underdogs of the savannah, we are full of fears and anxieties over our position, which makes us doubly cruel and dangerous. Many historical calamities, from deadly wars to ecological catastrophes, have resulted from this over-hasty jump. Okay, I want to pause there for a second. Does this make sense to you guys? Okay. So I want to recap that. I also want to one day figure out how ring lights work, but that's a different day. So think about this. Most of the other... Hey, baby, can you come on this side? Come here. You want to come up? So most of the other predators had so much more time to come into their own, if you will, as predators, right? So 400,000 years of evolution to start going after larger, more, what's the word I'm looking for? More risky targets is something that the difference between 400,000 years going from, killing an ant, right? Or killing like a mouse or something, if you're twice the size of an ant or a mouse, to going to, from 100,000 years, killing mostly things weaker, smaller, easier for you to prey on. And we are apex predators, right? The time to align yourself with the evolutionary changes was way shorter. So it makes a whole ton of sense to me why there, and so basically he's explaining anxiety here. There's a level of anxiety in rising so fast, so high, but not knowing, not having the, what's the word I want to say? I want to say alignment, but it's more like the time to adjust. And I actually do think he said that verbatim. Let me know if you have questions, but I think, the most important takeaway on that part was, so having so recently been the underdogs, that's an analogy, of the savannah, we are full of fears and anxieties over our position, which makes us doubly cruel and dangerous, which makes sense to me. We could all rethink this though, guys, just saying, throwing it out there. Many historical calamities, from deadly wars to ecological catastrophes, have resulted over this hasty jump. So that's a good way to put it. Hasty jump to the top, right? And I was making a documentary about that. So another analogy would be the 90s .com bubble and boom, the real estate, the bubble and boom, right? Or boom and bubble, or bubble and boom and bust, whatever it is. It changed the way the economy was forever. Internet changed the way the economy was forever. People making money on .coms that literally had zero value besides the .com at the end. I mean, that's insane. It changed the landscape, the financial landscape of our planet forever. What happened in the 90s, right? So that was with money, and that happened so fast. A race of cooks. A significant step on the way to the top was the domestication of fire. Some human species may have made the occasional use of fire as early as 800,000 years ago. By about 300,000 years ago, Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and the forefathers of Homo sapiens were using fire on a daily basis. Humans now had a dependable source of light and warmth and a deadly weapon against prowling lions. Good boy, Honda. Not only afterwards, humans may even have started deliberately to torch their neighborhoods. That's an interesting theme that's still happening, isn't it? A carefully managed fire could turn impassable, barren thickets into prime grasslands teeming with game. In addition, once the fire died down, Stone Age entrepreneurs could walk through the smoking remains and harvest charcoaled animals, nuts and tubers. The best thing fire did was cook. Foods that humans cannot digest in their natural form, such as wheat, rice, and potatoes, became staples for our diet thanks to cooking. Fire not only changed food's chemistry, it changed the biology as well. Cooking killed germs and parasites that infested foods. Humans also had a far easier time chewing and digesting old favorites such as fruits, nuts, insects, not an old favorite of mine, and carrion if they were cooked. Whereas chimpanzees spend 5 hours a day chewing raw food, a single hour suffices for people eating cooked food. So cooked versus raw is a whole different conversation, obviously. The advent of cooking enabled humans to eat more kinds of food, to devote less time to eating, and to make do with smaller teeth and shorter intestines. Our intestines are still 12 feet long, just to be clear about that. How long were they preceding this? That's interesting. Some scholars believe there is a direct link between the advent of cooking, the shortening of the human intestinal tract, which must have been like 15 feet at that point, I guess, and the growth of the human brain. Since long intestines and large brains are both massive energy consumers, it's hard to have both. That makes sense. By shortening the intestines and decreasing their energy consumption, cooking inadvertently opened the way to the jumbo brains of Neanderthals and sapiens. So that's interesting. So it makes me want to talk about the. I'll just write it. So sonar beep beep, the things that make me think about this, I'm just going to reread this. Some scholars believe it is a direct link between the advent of cooking, the shortening of the human intestinal tract, and the growth of human brain, since long intestines and large brains both are both massive energy consumers. So that makes me think of the vagus nerve. It also makes me think of pineal gland and the connection. It's hard to have both. By shortening the intestines and decreasing their jumbo brains, I also just think that's too easy of an answer. So people started eating cooked food that digested faster so that our intestines shrunk. I'll think about it. Fire also opened the first significant gulf between man and other animals. The power of almost all animals depends on their bodies, the strength of their muscles, the size of their teeth, the breadth of their wings. Though they may harness winds and currents, they are unable to control these natural forces and are always constrained by their physical design. Eagles, for example, identify thermal columns rising from the ground, spread their giant wings, and allow the hot air to lift them upwards. Yet eagles cannot control the location of the columns. Eagles cannot control the formation. Eagles, for example, identify thermal columns rising from the ground, spread their giant wings, and allow the hot air to lift them upwards. Yet eagles cannot control the location of the columns, and their maximum carrying capacity is strictly proportional to their wingspan. When humans domesticated fire, they gained control of an obedient and potentially limitless force. Unlike eagles, humans could choose when and where to ignite a flame, and they were able to exploit fire for any number of tasks. Most importantly, the power of fire was not limited by the form, structure, or strength of the human body. A single woman with a flint or fire stick could burn down an entire forest in a matter of hours. The domestication of fire was a sign of things to come. So that's a lot. Do you guys think about this stuff? I do. I also wonder how much of that information specifically is accurate sometimes, right? I love you, Cynthia. Thank you. Hi, Oscar Electric. So, the sun is going down. I don't care if you're mad at me, but I am going to keep moving so that it works for me. I was like, Shannon Cummings. I'm live. That's my cousin. I love my Shannon. What are you guys up to? Hi, Robert Brink. Yeah, I know. I love the sun. So what are you guys up to this weekend? What's new? Oh, look. I think I found a place I don't have to, like, go down. I was thinking about it the other day when I did Kiki's show. I was like, okay, no kids should be listening now anyway. This is an over 18 video. But when the mic's down there, what does that look like? Am I right? So I wanted to tell you guys, a few of you guys have been here for a while. I got like this full-time job. I didn't get a full-time job. I literally have to stop saying and it's so intense. So I work like 7 days a week. I did my first on-field thing today. which was fixing batteries on security cameras, which I think went well. Well, it was fine. I mean, I was watching mostly, but work. I mean, does this light do anything? I asked my friend. I was like, "Where do you put it?" She's like, "You put it where it looks good." I'm like, I don't know. So it's different. It's very different. There's a lot of nuances to it. I'll say that. I drove in a car with a person who wasn't supposed to drive because they could possibly get a seizure. And the whole time I'm in the car, I'm like, is the man getting a seizure? He's going a little bit into the right lane. Anyway, it was funny. Like, he's like, I'm like, are you allowed to drive? Like, 'cause he's got medical stuff. I'm like, are you allowed to drive? He's like, no. And we're walking down to his car. By the way, I took him to a doctor's appointment in my car yesterday. Why didn't we take my car? Because it's not his fancy car, whatever. So I'm assuming I'm driving. He goes, no, I can't drive. Seizures. And I'm like, oh, right. So he's like, I'm just going to pull the car out so you can get in. Cool. And he's driving. Why? You could get a seizure. You just told me that. Fuck. So that was interesting. And then, like, I know this for a fact. Like, well, I'm not going to say it, actually. Anyway, it was a very interesting day. My first day as a security company installer person in training, I guess. Yeah, it's getting silly. Yesterday, Oscar Electric was my therapist, kind of. I was venting. I was, like, because it's no days off. I've had 1 day off in the last month, or 2 days off in the last month. And it's serious shit, guys. It's not just like going in and like, actually, my friend said something funny. Ash, you might make more money working at McDonald's. I was like, maybe I should do that. But then I'd feel bad. Like, I feel like this dude needs me. But yeah, it's been a lot. And so yesterday I was just kind of like at the end of my thread, if you will. And it's always those days when like your boss will ask you to do like extra shit or da 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 da. It's like, ugh. But other than that, like, you wake up the next day, you sleep well, and it's like, okay. And you're just stronger or better for it or something, right? There's a lot of stuff that feels like super unjust in terms of some things, like, but I've also learned in my life, the more, like, every time I humble myself down, like, I scrub this man's toilets, amongst a bunch of other things. I do not wipe his butt. People have asked me that. Thankfully, he doesn't need that, and when he does, it won't be from me. But yeah, sometimes when I'm like scrubbing toilets or like getting what's the word I'm looking for? Not chastised, but told how to better, like, that I haven't cleaned the bathroom properly or haven't done this, you know what I mean? Like, ironing the t-shirts is a thing. I sometimes feel like Cinderella or something. This isn't right. This isn't supposed to be what's happening right now. But I think the more we lean into acceptance and the more we accept whatever the hell is happening at that time, the happier we are and the more magical things are allowed to come to us, if that makes sense. Like, it's always about instinct. And I was thinking about this today. Because if I had listened to other people, I never would, like, there's so many times I listened to other people and it couldn't have been the worst, or like, there couldn't have been worse advice I took, if that makes sense, right? That's why I don't give advice. Literally, I do not give advice. Like, if a friend is like, Ash, I really want your advice, I will, but I don't give advice out of respect to humans, to people. For everyone's experience is different. How the fuck, like, how would I ever, like, tell you what to do? I'll listen to you and, like, give you different ideas and perspectives that might be possible, but yeah, I don't give advice. I think that's rude. And I think too many people are just giving advice to people. And worse than that, too many people are taking it. And it just makes for a lot of chaos when it comes to interpersonal connections, friendships, business, everything. Um, so that's that part. But yeah, I followed my gut and yeah, it worked. Work, 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 work. Let's see. Yeah, humble. So there's something about that. I'm not a huge Bible thumper. I was raised Catholic and stuff, but there's a few things that stick with me that I know are true. Grace is guarded. That's one of them. Grace is guarded. Um, so I try to be graceful. We all know that I don't succeed most of the time. Um, I can get hot, but grace is guarded, and yeah, there's something like spiritual about doing work that, like the only other thing not the only other thing, but there was a situation, a period of time in 2017 where I was just like, I was either overqualified or underqualified for literally every job I applied for, including but not limited to dishwasher at a Chinese like fast food store or whatever restaurant. I applied for every job I could. And I finally ended up going to this tattoo parlor. And I just walked in and I was like, I need you to give me a job. I'll do anything. I'll clean the floors. I'll like what I like. The guy was like, give me your phone number. Like I'm not like hiring anyone, but give me your number. And he just paid me like twice a week, $30 to mop the floor. Um, that was an intense experience. Like, but things like that, guys, like I don't know if it makes sense or not. They you feel God in a different way, if that makes sense. Like you feel a sense of something. It's interesting. Lizard scars. Oh my gosh, should we like check in on Red Bar? Let's watch some Red Bar. At least until my lighting gets better, right? And we haven't in a minute. Okay, let's go to Lizard Scars. Do you have... Oh my gosh, I'm meeting the Woodwards this weekend. I'm having brunch with them on Sunday. Danny Woodwards. Okay, do you have an episode request? Liz Scars. Hi. Hi, everyone. I have to lean into the word no, 100%. I have to lean into the... Do you guys know what I do all the time? I clock out, and I'm like, do you need anything? And my friend's like, Ashley, stop doing that. If you're going to say that, do it before you leave, like, before you clock out. And it's like, inevitably, I'm like, do you need anything before I go? And I'll clock out, right? And he's like, yeah, can you make me some lunch? It's like, fuck. Okay, wait, hold on. What was the secret to this again? The secret. Interact. Oh, then I go like this. I know what to do. Stupid, but that's what it is. I don't know, maybe it doesn't work. That's annoying. Usually when I do that, it works. Um, I might just go though. I hope you guys are amazing. Think about the Homo sapiens thing. Like when it comes to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've been thinking about that lately. Like, do you guys remember Alice in Wonderland, the caterpillar that smokes? And he's like, who are you? And I was like thinking about that about myself. Like, who it doesn't really matter who you are, besides to yourself, in my opinion. But it's an interesting thing to consider. And I also think it's interesting that compared to other animals that evolved, we evolved so fast. And that does kind of explain anxiety in a way, if that makes sense. That could have been a thing. All right, guys. I'm warming back up. I'm kind of frustrated though because I should be able to just do this. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. No. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. No, it is kind of frustrating because, yeah, right, stoned out. Um, I do. Um, so anxiety is also another thing. Like, whoa, someone gave me a book, and it was all refresh. Let's try that. It it was all about. Come on. It was all about how anxiety is beneficial and it keeps you going and blah blah. And I was like, yeah, maybe for some people that are super fucking lazy or whatever. I don't know. But no, anxiety, like, not now, not like in where we are in evolution now. All right. Well, I can try to restart it and see if Red Bar works. I don't know if anyone remembers. You remember I used to do that thing, and it was like I do that, and then I do that, and it works. But rolling the dice here. So it's the Mac camera, it's the Red Bar. I've in the past I've restarted it. Kind of in the mood to watch Mike and Jules. And I'm really excited to meet the Woodwards on Sunday. Let's see. Okay, so it refreshed. How come we can't interact? And I hope Doom is having so much fun if he, she, them are still here. Because it makes me laugh sometimes to annoy Doom. Okay, guys, this is not working out. But we worked out, and I will see you soon. No, I can't find my way back. Ha ha. We will find our way back, always. I hope you have an amazing day, or you've had an amazing day, have an amazing weekend. What else did I learn this week that was interesting or think about? I don't know, lots of stuff. What are you guys saying? Thanks. Yeah, there are no rules. What is Red Bar? One Up Scott, you have not seen a Red Bar review? You've been on my channel for like 100,000 years. Wait, okay, Liz, you have to write me on, well, I'm meeting his wife and his daughter too. So his daughter's like, I love his daughter. So, we've like talked on the phone and stuff. So it can't be too hardcore of a prank, but you can message me. You have my details. You can message me ideas if you want. But yeah, I'm down for like a light one, but we have to remember it has to be like, 12 and under PG styles. Or I can maybe do something like tell his wife that I'm going to prank him so she knows, because his wife and I are tight. I could do that. We'll think about it. Or do we just do a Red Bar in the wild, right? No, they're awesome. I love them. I've never met them in real life, and I'm meeting them Sunday because they're coming to LA. So we're having brunch. But yeah, let's think about that. Let's marinate on that because I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I will sidebar with his wife and Tiffany, who I love, and just make sure like Torn isn't freaked out or whatever. Yes, exactly. College, like high school style, just maybe like a whoopee cushion. Where can I find a whoopee cushion? That would be great, right? And I could film it and he could say Red Bar is watching or something. Whoopee cushion, like whoopee cushion level prank is what we're going for. All right, guys, have an amazing evening. Thank you for being here. I love you always. And when I can see the button, we're going to say bye-bye. I can't see the arrow or the button. Okay. Before I forget, the most important thing. The most important thing is Doom still here? Doom, are you still here? I'm not going to do it if you're not here. Sounds so gay. Doom, if you're not here, there's no point, right? Because I don't really understand. You're going to have to clarify what I'm saying. You're awesome, Liz. Yeah, think of whoopee cushions, how I can get one in the next 24 hours or something to that effect. Because that would be funny, right? I don't know. Maybe I can coordinate with the restaurant. All right, guys, have an amazing weekend. I'm going to go eat food. I'll just say it. Okay, Doom wanted me to mention that there is, okay, I'm still learning Discord, guys. I'm lost in sauce when it comes to that. Like, people message me. I'm like, this is just you and me, right? We're just private. So there is he didn't clarify it was YouTube or not. Wait, hold on. So if you're into Discord, I want to give a shout out to a Discord channel, which is either YouTube or Discord. Doom did not clarify this for moi. Where the fuck is it? By the way, I'm not telling you to go to Discord either. We are Doom. Doom is Legion. Okay. So it's the SpurgTube. It's SpurgTube TV and Movies. SpurgTube TV and Movies. Just say SpurgTube TVs and Movies. Okay. And I knew it wasn't one person. Ha ha. I really want to find the arrow. Bye, Liz. I love you. We'll take pictures for sure, and they'll be on Instagram. And let's think.